Wealth is coming your way. Wealth is coming your way. Be careful not to reject it because it doesn't look like how you thought wealth was going to come to you. Don't reject it because a certain type of wealth comes before the other type of wealth that you want. Wealth, when I think of wealth, it is well-rounded. It's in many different ways. It's not just financial. It's emotional. It's mental. It's relationships. It's abundance. It's overflow. So a lot of times, even in the book of Proverbs, it says laziness leads to poverty. You not only can you be financially poor, you can be spiritually poor. You could be emotionally poor, emotionally dysregulated. You could be psychologically poor. You could be mentally poor in the mind. And so a lot of us, we only think of wealth as something financial. So when the pastor or the preacher or we pray for wealth, a lot of times we're praying for finances. God has said, I exceed. God exceeds whatever you ask for, whatever you pray for. God is going to exceed what it is that you're asking for. Hold on, make sure. God exceeds whatever it is that you're asking for. So if God has said, I'm going to bring you wealth, it might not look like you thought it was going to look. You might think that the financial wealth is going to come before the emotional wealth. God is sending you mental wealth before he sends you the financial wealth. Because we got to understand God knows what's in our future. God knows us, those secret hidden things. If God gave some of us financial wealth first, we wouldn't even care about emotional wealth. We wouldn't even care about mental wealth. We wouldn't even care about psychological wealth. We wouldn't even care about our spiritual wealth if the financial wealth came first. But God is saying, I'm doing a new thing in your life. I'm going to bring the spiritual wealth first before anything. So align yourself with God, walk with God. Then I'm going to have you walking in your purpose. And then on top of that, you're going to also, while you're going through all these things, you're going to be healing from your childhood wounds. You're going to be healing from all these things that you went through, all your hurts, all your pains, all your traumas. Because who knows, you get all this money and you got all this wealth. It's people out there who got all that and they unaliving themselves. We see it's people sitting in jail cells right now that had the financial wealth, but they didn't have the rest of the wealth. So now they're living poor. Yeah, they got millions and billions tied to their name, but now they bound up, physically bound up. It's people right now in jail right now, physically bound up, but financially they got money, they got wealth, but because their mind wasn't healthy, because their mind wasn't wealthy, they're bound up in their physical state. Because where their mind is, the rest of their actions gonna follow. God is trying to give you wealth through your health. God is saying, stop eating them pork chops. Start eating all them fried food. Start eating all that Chinese food. Start adding vegetables to your plate. So you keep asking, keep getting mad at God, saying, God, I didn't pray for this. I didn't pray for what you're trying to give, and we don't even see it as God. Matter of fact, you ain't talking to God. You mad at God right now. Some people mad at God right now because God didn't give them the job that they asked for. So they don't want nothing to do with God. God said, I'm trying to give you spiritual wealth. If you already acting like that right now because God didn't give you the job that you wanted, what you think gonna happen? You get money and something don't work out the way you plan. Oh, you probably gonna flick God off. God know that God ain't no fool. God know everything about you. So God is going to give you spiritual wealth first. God has said, work on your relationship with me first. Because you do this first, whatever you're up against in the future. Whatever you're going to be up against in the future, you're going to stay abundant. You're going to still have all your stages of wealth. But don't get mad because certain things come before the other things. God I think about somebody, if you only work physically, You stack up physically. If you only work physically for financial gain, or it might be influence, or other things, it might be influence, it might be money. But if you only work physically, that's all you're going to have stored up for you. You're not going to have anything else. A lot of us, with our family bloodline, God has promised us wealth. And some people might think that promise hasn't manifested because we're expecting to see financial wealth. Some of y'all have been prophesied a wealth. But the thing is, and I just think about a family bloodline. Your mama worked herself into the grave. Her father, and then his mother, and so on and so forth, and all the way down to you. The reason no one is living the way that they should be, the reason no one is actually abundant and well-rounded, is because they all done the same work, but nobody's doing the work that God is sending you to do. Nobody fulfilled the assignment. When God gives you an assignment, when God gives you a promise, he has to have a covenant. Nobody wanted to do the emotional work. So nobody's operating in full wealth of God. Nobody. Can you imagine for generations? For generations. I think about the people that, the Israelites, when they left Egypt. How long it took them. How many generations it took till the rest of the people saw the promised land. Because nobody wanted to do the work. Everybody wanted to do the physical work. Everyone passed down from generation, taught the next generation to do the physical work, get a job, get a 9-to-5. But ain't nobody take the time to do the spiritual work. Ain't nobody take the time to do the emotional work. Ain't nobody take the time to undo the psychological things that went across their life. Ain't nobody take the time to do that type of work. To uncover the familiar spirits that's attached to them. Nobody wanted to take the time to eat right. Nobody wanted to take the time to exercise and say, you know what, I don't want to do, but let me just walk with God. Nobody wanted to do the other type of work. And listen, when you want to go your way, God gonna let you have your way. But if you want to be right with God, you want to do it God's way, that's where you're going to see those promises coming to fruition. But God is taking you another route. And before the finances come, I really felt this in my spirit. It's very urgent that y'all don't reject it. Even for myself, don't reject it, because it different. I'm thinking of 7 different layers of health. Within wealth, you got health, you got your finances, mental, emotional state, psychological, it's other things, relationship. We can go, but I think of the number 7 things. 7 different things. And everything, I'm not going to say one is more important than the other besides like maybe something spiritual, but nothing's more important than the other. But don't get mad because your spiritual wealth came before your financial wealth. In the end, you're still going to have wealth. Imagine telling God no because you don't like the process. Imagine it's a hairstyle or something you want and you like it. And you say, oh, I want it. You say, you got a picture of it. And you go and you say to this hairstylist, a male or female, go to the hairstylist. I want this exact haircut. I want this hairstyle. Can you do this on me? And then they do it. They you done seen them do it so many times on different people. They got videos online, and then they do it. But in the process, you don't like how the process looks. So you say, I don't want that. So you get up from the chair. Are you ever gonna have that haircut? No. And you probably about to look like a fool because you ain't like the process. So now you probably like a fool because they ain't finished your hair. So anyway. So imagine we're doing that to God. We said we don't like the picture. We don't like the picture that you're painting. We don't like the haircut. We don't like the way you're shifting our mind. We don't like the process. So even though we want what God promised us, even though we want the abundance, the overflow like everybody else, that's what be tricking people out, is because they think that, I know it's this saying, fake it until you make it. You can't fake God. You might fool a fool, but the real know. That's why when people go and they try to mimic what everybody else is going, they're not really living that life. You can't fool God. You can't pretend with God. You really got to go through the process. We be looking at pastors. We be looking at preachers. Myron Golden. If you ever looked at him or know who he is, well, I'll suggest you do your own research. But one thing he said was, people think that they're going to book one of his courses and work with him and team up with him and think they're going to have his level of success. And he's like, why do you think you're going to work with me or take one of my courses and think you're going to have my level of success if you ain't go through my process? I went through a whole process of getting to where I am today. And you think you're just going to work with me for a couple of months or take one course, all of a sudden you're going to be me, the next me? No, it don't work that way. So even people are going to listen, y'all. People are going to think that with you. Some of you guys, you are. I'm telling you, this is just a warning. This is just a warning. Do not reject God. Do not reject the way that God is coming to you. Do not reject it. Despite whatever you're going up against, God only knows. But do not reject the process. Do not reject it, because one comes before the other. In the end, you're going to have it all. In the end, you can have it all. You ain't got to pick. In the world, they say you got to have this and this. If you want financial wealth, you got to be evil. No, you can have it all. You can be financially wealthy and abundant and have great relationships and have a great marriage and have a great family relationship with not only your children, but your extended family and friends and business partners. And on top of that, you have a great mental health and be in great shape and healed. You might not believe it, but that's what God is trying to get you to a point. Because imagine the money ain't came yet. Imagine the money hasn't come yet. And every way, like all 6 different ways, all other different ways besides the finances. If you are already wealthy and healthy in the mind and your emotions and psychologically and spiritually, financially, it's just going to fall into place, because at that point you're going to be aligned. Nothing can stop you. Even if you at one point you have more money and then in another season you don't have as much money. I ain't gonna say you're broke. Now ain't nobody say that, but you're not gonna have it. But it's a season where you might have more and then you might have less, especially if you're working in like creative art. Sometimes that can happen. What's gonna distract you? What's gonna stop you? The same guy that was with you when you were poor, the same guy that was with you at the start of that process is gonna be with you at the end of the process. I feel hyped up, because like people say, they was with me. The reason I'm with this person is because they was with me when I ain't had nothing. When everybody else wanted to give up on me, when everybody else wanted to put me down because I didn't have this type of 9 to 5. When everybody wanted to put me down because I was not a financial benefit to them, or I wasn't a benefit to them. When everybody wanted to talk trash about me, when not even that they looked up to me, when everyone looked down on me. God believed in me. God told me to lift my head up. God told me to get up off that ground and pick up your feet. God said, don't even get on your knees and pray. Stand up and pray. Close your eyes and pray and stand up. I want you to get comfortable standing up. I want you to get comfortable marching. When you pray to me, march. Get comfortable marching. Because I want you to know what it feels like to be a spiritual soldier. When people coming up against you, you know how to walk. You don't just fall down. You submit to me. But I want you to I want you to know what it feels like to be a winner. I want you to go outside and run. And while you running, think about me. When you sweating outside because of the weather. Yes, it's hot outside. It's 97 degrees. And I'm still going to tell you to go outside. And you're going to be sweating. And you're going to be 5 shades darker after you come back in. And your shirt is going to be soaked. Everything's going to be soaked. You ain't going to be smelling right after a while. You're like, hey, dog, what? I want you to get comfortable about what that feels like. Because where I'm sending you, I know where I'm sending you. And you're going to need that. I want you to get comfortable what it feels like to run with me. Because running with me ain't easy. Running with me is so rare. It's a lot of runners in the world, but everybody ain't running with me or for me. Well, that's all for today, guys. My name is TaZhaneClaude, and y'all have a wonderful, great day. Bye-bye.